You don't get a childhood. You are a biological torpedo pre-programmed for murder. You wake up in a warm, fleshy sack off the coast of Baja, California, surrounded by your unhatched siblings. Before you even see the sun, survival instinct kicks in. Your jaw clicks open, armed with tiny, jagged razors, and you bite into the closest egg membrane. You eat your unborn brother before he even forms a fin. Uterine cannibalism. Welcome to existence. Your mother drops you into the freezing, murky Pacific Ocean and immediately swims away. If she stayed, she'd probably eat you anyway. You are 4 feet of raw nerve endings, cartilage, and relentless, agonizing hunger. Gravity is your enemy. Without a swim bladder, if you stop swimming, you sink. If you sink, you suffocate. Move or die. You figure out the physics of your own meat suit pretty fast. Your tail sweeps side to side, propelling you forward. Your pectoral fins act like airplane wings, keeping you from sinking like a stone. Every muscle twitches with a cold, electric hum. You find a patch of kelp and wait. A stray stingray drifts over the sand. You angle downward, opening a jaw filled with 30 serrated teeth, and snap. The ray thrashes, its barbed spine scraping against your gill slits, leaving a jagged white scar. It's a painful tax on your first meal, but the warm, greasy liver sliding down your throat is worth it. You swallow it whole. You are a biological Roomba made of muscle, vacuuming up whatever fits in your mouth. You learn quickly that the ocean doesn't care about your potential. You are still a toddler. A bronze whaler shark, twice your size, circles above the kelp, eyeing you like a stray chicken nugget. You flee. 2 years pass. You hit 8 feet long and pack on 300 pounds. You graduate from bottom-feeding garbage disposal to mid-water assassin. The coastal waters are a buffet of sea lions. You stalk from the shadows of the seafloor, looking up at the silhouette of a pup against the sun. You fire your tail, accelerating to 25 miles per hour in 3 seconds. You hit the surface like a freight train, breaching entirely out of the water with a screaming pup clamped in your jaws. Impact force, roughly 4,000 pounds per square inch. You shake your head, tearing through fat and bone like a wet paper towel. By year 5, you are 12 feet of pure apex predator. You don't chew. You rip, swallow, and let your stomach acid dissolve the bones. You upgrade to elephant seals. These aren't helpless pups. They are blubber-armored tanks with tusks. You ambush one off a rocky reef, slicing a massive chunk out of its flank, then back off. You just bleed it out. You wait for it to exhaust itself, thrashing in a cloud of its own red fluid, before you move in for the cleanup. It's lazy, highly effective, and deeply psychotic. Then you hit a cool 15 feet, crossing the 2,000-pound mark. You patrol the deep blue, tracking the electromagnetic fields of every living heart in a 50-mile radius through the gel-filled pores in your snout. You are untouchable, a flawless killing machine that hasn't needed an evolutionary patch in 10 million years. Don't get too arrogant. You drift into a pod of killer whales off the coast of South Africa. You think you're the boss. An adult orca hits you from the side, a calculated blunt force ramming that flips you completely upside down. Your brain short circuits, tonic immobility. You are paralyzed, floating belly up like a defective pool toy, while the orca methodically bites into your chest cavity, sucks out your nutrient-dense liver, and drops your twitching corpse. Wait, no. You barely snap out of the trance, just in time to right yourself and sprint into the abyss, leaving a trail of blood. You survive, but the humiliation is permanent. You learn the golden rule of the ocean. Size is the only law. You claim a massive, invisible territory spanning thousands of miles between California and Hawaii, the White Shark Cafe. It sounds like a hipster coffee shop, but it's just a barren oceanic desert where you and hundreds of other great whites go to violently assert dominance. You don't do friends. You communicate purely through aggression. A smaller shark tries to snag a whale carcass you're feeding on. You don't posture. You just bite half its face off and go back to eating. You are a solitary, paranoid king. Everything smaller than you is a calorie. Everything bigger than you is a threat. Eventually, the hormones hijack your brain. If you're a male, mating is a high-speed grappling match with zero consent. You find a female, chase her down in a brutal endurance sprint, and latch onto her pectoral fin with your teeth just to hold her steady. She drags you through the water, ripping your gums open, while you furiously attempt to transfer genetic material. You leave exhausted, bleeding, and hungry. But let's flip the script. Assume you're the female. It's infinitely worse. You are 20 feet long and weigh 4,000 pounds, an absolute titan of the deep, but mating means enduring literal torture. The males swarm you like rabid dogs, biting your flanks, tearing through your tough skin. You develop skin 3 times thicker than the males just to survive the romantic encounter. Once pregnant, you carry the pups for over a year, starving yourself, migrating across oceans while they devour each other inside your uterus. Your reward for motherhood is a shredded back, empty fat reserves, and the immediate need to flee so you don't eat your sole surviving child when it finally drops out of you. Time comes for everyone. You hit year 40. Your internal factory starts failing. You've gone through 20,000 teeth in your lifetime, constantly rotating them forward like a jagged conveyor belt. But now the replacements are growing and crooked. Your cartilage stiffens. Your tail beats lose that explosive snap. You try to ambush a sea lion, but you miscalculate the trajectory. You breach, miss entirely, and hit the water with a pathetic splash. The sea lion barks at you from the rocks. You are tired. Your eyes, once pitch black and terrifying, are clouded with cataracts. Parasitic copepods burrow into your gills, restricting your oxygen flow. You are suffocating on dry land, except you are underwater. Hunger drives you closer to shore to scavenge for scraps like a bottom feeder. You don't notice the massive ghost net drifting in the current until the thick nylon mesh wraps around your pectoral fin. You thrash in a blind panic, which only tangles it tighter over your sensitive gills. You can't swim forward. And because you can't swim, water stops flowing over your gills. You begin to drown. The ocean's ultimate apex predator, suffocated by a cheap piece of discarded garbage. You sink slowly into the black, where tiny scavengers begin eating your eyes before your heart even stops. There is another tragic failure playing out on your screen right now. Another life born just to suffer and lose everything. Click the video and watch it end worse than yours.